required. These nutrients, they are classified into two groups, specifically macronutrient and micronutrients. They are also called as a basic nutritional requirement microorganisms. Is it okay? Macro means mega. Mega means large. Okay? The nutrients which are required in large amount, they are called as a macronutrient. Macronutrients means the nutrient which are required in lesser amount or trace amount. These nutrients, they are called as a micronutrient or trace elements. Okay? So we see one by one. In macronutrient, okay, these macronutrients are required by microorganism relatively in large amount, and these include hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, potassium, magnesium and iron. These are the macro elements which are required in relatively large amounts, and that's why it is called as a macronutrient. For example, carbon, where carbon is required. Okay, so all photosynthetic microorganism, for example cyanobacteria, that means the algae that obtain their energy from oxidation of inorganic compound, typically use the most oxidized form of carbon, that is CO2, as a principal source of cellular carbon. We know that these microorganisms, they are made from biomolecules, and these biomolecules, they are not lipid and nucleic acid. For the synthesis or in carbohydrate, there is a carbon is there, in protein there is a carbon is there, in lipid there is a carbon. That means in all the carbon that is involved. Okay, so CO2 as a principal source of cellular carbon in autotrophic organism, and in heterotrophic organism there is a chemical compounds. They can be oxidized and they get carbon requirement. Is it okay? So therefore many other microorganism, that is heterotrophic, cannot use CO2 as a sole source of carbon, and instead of it depends upon the naturally occurring complex organic compounds present in the biosphere for supply of carbon. See here, carbon is essential for all types of organism, but there are two types of organism. There is one is autotrophic organism and another is a heterotrophic organism. Okay, autotrophic means the organism which utilize CO2 as a sole source of carbon. That type of organism, they are called as a autotrophic. Okay, so here is the source of carbon is CO2. These are the autotrophic organisms. Now there are other organisms which are heterotrophic in nature, and they are unable to utilize CO2 as a sole source of carbon, but instead of these CO2 they utilize other naturally occurring substances, and specifically organic substances or organic compound as a sole source of carbon. they are called as a heterotrophic microorganism. Okay, so this is the carbon requirement. Now there is another requirement, that is the oxygen requirement. Okay, now oxygen, we know that there are some organisms which require oxygen for the respiration. Okay, like human being, they require oxygen, and without oxygen there is a no life, it is considered. But in case of microorganism, there is a life exists without oxygen also. Okay, in case of human being it is not possible, in case of animal it is not possible, life without oxygen. But in case of some microorganism, there is a life exists without oxygen also. Okay, so based upon the need of oxygen, these organisms, they are again classified into three groups. One is a obligatory aerobe, second, that is obligatory anaerobe, and third one is the facultative anaerobes. That means there are three types of organism based upon the need of oxygen. Okay, so first of all we see the obligatory aerobic organism. They are dependent upon aerobic respiration for their metabolic energy. Okay, that means they are aerobic microorganism which require oxygen. Okay, see, if there is oxygen is absent, then these microorganisms, they are unable to grow, or in absence of oxygen these organisms will die. Okay, but there is another group of organism which is obligatory anaerobic. Anaerobic means in absence of oxygen, or there is no need of oxygen. Okay, so molecular oxygen is toxic to these, as it either kills them or inhibits their growth. That means there is a molecular oxygen that will be acts as a toxic to these microorganisms, and in presence of oxygen these microorganisms, they are get killed. Is it okay? We understand the difference between these two. One is obligatory aerobic, that means in presence of oxygen or molecular oxygen these organisms, they will grow. If the oxygen is absent, then these organisms, they will get killed or inhibited their growth. Is it okay? That is called as a obligatory aerobic organism. And another obligatory anaerobic means they are unable to grow in presence of oxygen. Okay, that molecular oxygen, that is toxic to these microorganisms, and due to which they are get killed or they are get inhibited. Is it okay? That type of microorganism here called as a obligatory anaerobic microorganism. Okay, now the third type, that is the facultative anaerobes. They are able to grow either in the presence or absence of molecular oxygen. See, here is the condition. They are able to grow either in presence or absence of molecular oxygen. Means in both condition, these organisms, they are able to grow. Okay, such a type of organisms, they are called as a facultative anaerobes. Okay, now The another requirement, most important requirement of macronutrient, that is the nitrogen. Microorganism requires nitrogen for synthesis of cell components like amino acids, purines, pyrimidines, some carbohydrates, lipids, enzymes, cofactors and other substances in which there is a nitrogen that is involved or which is required for the synthesis of these substances. Okay, so a number of eubacteria and archaebacteria have the ability to use atmospheric nitrogen, a process that is called as a nitrogen fixation. Okay, we know that there are some microorganisms which fix the atmospheric nitrogen. There is a high storage of nitrogen in our environment, and that nitrogen that is required for the growth and development of plant also. Is it okay? But these plants, they are unable to fix the atmospheric nitrogen, and that's why we provide some fertilizers to the plant in the form of NPK, okay, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. That is the mixture of macro element which is given to the plants. Okay, but there are some microorganisms in nature which have an ability to fix the atmospheric nitrogen. Okay, and they fix that atmospheric nitrogen and they supply it to the plants, and there is an association between plant and microorganism. Such a type of association, they are called as a mutualistic associations. Is it okay? So here nitrogen, that is essential for the microorganism also, and they fix from atmospheric nitrogen. Okay, and these nitrogen fixing bacteria, they are called as a azotobacter or a rhizobium. Or the best examples of nitrogen fixing bacteria, they are rhizobium and azotobacter. Nowadays these rhizobium culture and azotobacter cultures, they are used as a biofertilizers. Okay, so we can keep the control on use of chemical fertilizers. Is it okay? So this will be acts as a biofertilizer. Some feed on inorganic nitrogen compounds such as nitrates, nitrites or ammonium, and some derive nitrogen from organic compounds such as amino acids. Is it okay? Now the next element which is required for the growth and development of microorganism, that is the hydrogen. Okay, hydrogen plays a number of roles in the life of microbes. It is a structural atom in organic molecule and participate in the complex process of energy generation. In the cell membrane, most of the microorganism, proton are involved in the production of ATP via ATP synthesis system. That means for the synthesis of energy rich compound, this hydrogen, that is essential, and that is supplied from water. Okay, Now the remaining portion we see in the next